Clearly, we are leaving the best till last here, guys. What the hell is going on? This is hilarious. So welcome to this final episode. And I do believe I'm correct in saying it's the final episode because I'm sure the announcer said as the programme came on, it's the final episode. Married at First Sight UK Season 9, Episode 36. This is our final commitment ceremony. And they're kicking it off with Amy and Luke, having done some flashbacks for everyone assembled, showed them on their wedding days, etc. So they begin with Amy and Luke, and they replay their vows from the other day in which Amy was dressed in black. And when they play it back, Amy says she feels awful about that it felt good at the time, but looking at it now, she thinks it's too savage. And I'm amazed that she actually said that, because earlier this week, when I was on social media, I saw that she'd put up a post about doing it to prove she was a strong woman and to do it for all the women out there, to prove you don't need to be messed around. So it's weird to see her talking about how she regrets it in the programme, even though we know what we know about Luke. So that's a bit contradictory. But hey, it is what it is. Then we get to this brilliant moment where they have to talk about what Luke said in that infamous letter to Amy in which he sent her the turtle brooch. And they... They bring up the phrase, terrorise the you-know-what, and the whole room is just convulsed, especially the guys. You can see, this is the trouble. If you've got men around, there's always going to be that juvenile moment when they hear something silly and they're going to giggle like little boys. And so when they mention terrorising the you-know-what, the boys start giggling, the room starts giggling, but the experts are really serious about this. No, I want to talk about this. This is your language. Why did you use that phrase? And then Luke says something like, well, no, I never did do that to her rear end. But I did do it somewhere else. I mean, is he talking about oral sex? I don't know I can only assume that's what he's referring to. And Amy is denying that they ever went to that particular part of the county, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I think the whole thing is really strange. And I'm wondering whether what concerned Amy was his use of language. This idea that he thought she'd be interested in that sexually, and if she's not interested in that sexually, it would maybe make her a bit scared, a bit concerned that he's going to want that kind of thing, and it's not the kind of thing she wants to give. Where did he get the idea from? Is it from, pornography, all that kind of stuff? So maybe that's what she was worried about. Because a lot of marriages break up over sex. What are the three main causes? They're like sex, money, and lack of fun. I don't know, there are three and I've forgotten what the third one is, but sex and money are two of the big ones. So a lot of marriages break up over that, especially when it comes to a situation where one of the people in the relationship is requiring certain sexual things from the other one and they're not prepared to give it and they get angry about it and blah blah blah. But yeah, it's a strange one, this, but it is very funny.
Awful. I feel like I had so much, built up anger and upset. Felt like I needed to get it off my chest. I felt better after I did it. But watching it back, it might have been a little bit savage.
And Luke, how was that experience for you?
It was very sad. I was sad that I was the one to make her feel that way.
So after the final vows, what has happened since then?
You sent me a birthday gift, didn't you? With a letter in it.
Would you say that there's a part of you that's holding out hope that maybe Amy might change her mind?
Of course. I'll always have a fond memory of the stuff we've done. I know how I felt. I know how you made me feel, Amy, when we went on the honeymoon. It was such a poignant moment that uplifted me. You gave me confidence like no other.
Amy, you look irritated.
It just baffles me like this, because obviously the letter went quite into depth about how much he missed me and he's always thinking about me, referring to me as his wife, and nice rude comment at the end of it.
A rude comment?
It said, "No regrets, actually just one. I wish I'd have got down on my knees when you were cooking in the kitchen and terrorised your bumhole."
Oh, God.
say.
Okay. I do remember us having this conversation about flirting and about what's a turn on and what's a turn off. I suppose I'm curious what your thoughts were around terrorising the bumhole. I mean, I know we're all laughing about this, but I'm not saying this with any kind of judgment. In relationships, we have our own codes of conversation, we have our own banter and a bit of flirting, and it sounds like this is something that maybe took place privately between the two.
No, it didn't. No, it did not.
You specifically used the term, I want to terrorize your butthole.
Yeah,
Have you ever used that term before?
I think with
You've never said that to me before.
yeah, but we've done it. I've showed her.
He's not done that to me. He's never done anything like that to me.
Not your bumhole.
What the hell is coming out of Luke's mouth right now? My bumhole has never seen any action in its whole existence. Never mind with Luke. And I'd rather it not be spoken about again.
As we close the book on Luke and Amy, I have to admit I'm rather confused. Because in their final conversation, it seems that he still really fancies her and is very clear about that. She still feels the same way and wants nothing to do with him. But the graphic comment he made is what we focused on that was unintentionally hilarious. And yet, I'm not sure whether his other comments were as graphic, because she doesn't seem to imply that he did anything else that was particularly bad. And I can't work out whether we had a lot edited out, a lot we don't know, a lot they wanted to keep hidden, because she keeps going on about the lies, the endless lies. How many lies were there? Well, what sort of lies are we talking about? You know, I mean, him saying that he had 8 girlfriends instead of 2. Yeah, that's a lie, but again, I think, you know, maybe, I don't know, I just thought that that's not a big, huge lie. It's a lie, but not a huge lie. It's not like him saying, yeah, I said I had 2 girlfriends and actually I've slept with 300 women sort of level. But a lie is a lie, I get that. But my point is, I'm not quite sure whether he was as bad as she made out. If he had been making really graphic comments like that all the time, then I would say, yeah, this guy's got a serious problem. But I don't think he was. So we'll have to leave that one where it is.
Do you believe that could be a shocking term?
I want it to be. It's some
Okay.
feeling I have.
Okay, there you go. So here's someone who you've never used this term with. You know it's shocking and you drop it in a letter. Why is that?
It's a word, Paul. It's a word. I have to choose a word that reflects how I feel.
You went with terrorise.
Whatever I would do from day one, from the marriage almost, we were always misunderstood. I'm a bit quirky. I'm a non-conformer, and that's what I've learned. And I'm going to stop trying to conform.
And there's something powerful in that. But can I just give you some advice around relationships?
Yes, please.
We're saying it's about reading the room. And what she has said consistently is that those types of language just don't do it for her.
I just wanted to let her know that I fancy the pants off you, and that's how you make me feel sexually. Oh, I'm really sorry for really wanting you, Amy. I sincerely apologize.
I just didn't understand the motive behind it after what happened at Final Vows. Like, that book was closed.
Right, okay. I think it is important also for you, Luke, to be able to acknowledge, you know, how hurt and disappointed you were. Because you had really hoped for a future with Amy.
We were always trying to please each other, but we weren't getting there. And it was a big shame because in the end, I look at Amy and she has many qualities that I asked for. And the person walks away from me. And that's painful because then I think to myself, then what do I do? Do I change the way I speak, or do I start thinking twice about what words I use?
I'm not saying you're a bad person. I don't know if you're saying things and meaning another thing, but there's been so many lies. The trust was just gone, and we were just like fighting a losing battle.
And Amy, what would you say you've learned about yourself throughout this process?
I feel like I've learned how to be very patient. I've learned to have more confidence in myself.
That was a very special moment, I have to admit. Will we top that? Maybe not. We're getting closer because Polly and Adam are currently on the couch. We had Nathan and Lacey. It was all smiles. It was all wonderful. It was all syrupy. I found it so dull, guys. I'm not even going to include it. Polly and Adam are on the sofa and watch back their highlights package. And there seems to be a focus on the fact that, you know, should he have had sex with her? You know, there was lack of intimacy. Polly kept, you know, building Adam up and then tearing him down seconds later, and he'd had enough of it. And she wants Adam to take accountability, but Adam cannot work out what he's done wrong. And of course, that expert, I've forgotten her name now, says, "Come on, Adam, you know what you've done wrong." All the other women in the room going, "Yes, what have you? You've done lots wrong, Adam." And he's looking at them going, "What have I done wrong?" And I've got to say, I think Adam's just being a bloke about this, because I am not sure what he thinks he's done. I think what he's done is he's come into the relationship and been honest about what he doesn't like, but maybe hasn't made as much effort as she wanted him to. Maybe him at the beginning going on about how she's not my usual type, blah, blah, were things he shouldn't have said, you know, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm rather confused as well. Because again, I did see the guy trying, but maybe there was tons of other times when he just didn't try. I'm not sure. Again, I'm quite confused. Yes, he has to take accountability. They both do, because it's two in a relationship, but I guess we're going to find out exactly what it is he's done that's so terribly wrong. Did he lead her on? I thought he was always pretty brutally honest.
I feel very, very lied to.
Adam, do you believe that you were fully transparent to Polly? Were you truthful to her from the beginning?
Yeah, I was truthful from the start. I always told her everything. I gave her the heads up on everything.
Do you feel that you were kind to Polly throughout this?
Yeah, I think I treated her well, yeah.
Okay. It's important for us to spend a moment in this space because I think a common challenge that the two of you had is the sex. Adam, do you believe that the sex was leading Polly on? Do you regret having sex with Polly?
Probably on the first night, it was probably like wrong of me to do it before I kind of knew where my head was at and stuff. But I didn't regret it.
So, Polly, do you feel Adam was leading you on through the sex?
Yeah.
But Adam, was the sex just physical for you, or did it mean more?
No, it was trying to like boost what was missing, you know what I mean?
But when he was saying all the stuff of like, yeah, there is a potential, I do fancy you, like I do see a potential when we leave, is that not fucking leading someone on?
I think on this issue, question is the intention of it, right? Polly, you're saying that you feel as if the sex was happening because we are in a relationship.
Yeah.
All right, so now, Adam, it seems like what happened is that you walked in, you were physically not attracted to your wife, but you said, you know what, I'm in this experiment, I'm going to give it my all. And part of that was, I'm going to give it my all. So where did it turn for you, Adam?
The first day we got back from homestays, she was just being like mardy and like bickering, and you kind of like bigging me up and then shutting me down.
You still weren't giving what I was asking for the whole way through, which was to be felt wanted by your partner.
But that is the reason I was just drained. Every other day she used to say to me like, oh, you treat me like a princess. You do so much for like acts of service for me. And then 10 seconds later she'll go, you don't do enough for me, I feel like I deserve better. Got to the point where I was like, I can't do this no more, Polly.
I hear a lot of what you're saying. But the one part I don't see is how you have zero accountability for the failure of your marriage.
Because he's 90% perfect and he's such a catch. And he can never do any wrong until he's pulled up on his behaviour, which he doesn't like, and he ducks out.
I don't think I've done anything wrong.
Oh, come on, Adam.
You're not taking accountability for your behaviour again.
What have I done wrong?
Oh, Adam.
Anyone?
Are you taking the piss out of me?
Somehow Polly justifies her actions against Adam last night. You know, talking about how she was just driven to it after all the frustration. I don't see how you can justify throwing stuff at people, you know, throwing a glass of wine over him. I mean, who knows what she would have thrown over him if they'd actually got married. Nonetheless, much back and forths, Adam saying, yeah, I never intentionally meant to hurt you, which I don't think is true. I think sometimes when people get deep into these arguments, they do intend to hurt each other because they feel like the hurt will yield the reward they want. Eventually they apologise to each other at the behest of the experts. I don't actually believe that they will remain friends. I think Adam's done. And I kind of think Polly would only be interested in him if he would be her husband, lover, whatever. But nevertheless, for the sake of the cameras, they say they'll stay friends.
Anything, I haven't bad-mouthed you, I haven't spoke about you. You're the one that's been ripping me in the girls' chat.
Ripping you in the
And
girls'
everyone
chat,
said
which
I'm
was sending a video that I found funny. I've tried to reach out to you multiple times, and all 3 times you were so rude. You just spoke to me like shit. All you done last night was dig and dig and dig and push buttons, which unfortunately led you to be in the position that you were in. And I've never ever been in that position with someone to feel the need to do that.
If something's said, you know what I mean, that hurts me, like, it is hard to just forget about.
Adam, there's something that Polly said that I could see really impacted you, and that was when she called you a narcissist. Why was that such a problem for you?
I've always classed it as someone that's like just a nasty piece of work, you know what I mean?
So, you know, that's a big statement. So it just so happens before the commitment ceremony, what I did is I went back and I looked at Adam's profile. He's not a narcissist. Could you say there are things that you could have done better?
Oh, 100%. I could have done so much better.
Like
how I spoke to him sometimes, how I addressed certain situations, how I spoke about him in a group setting when I was a bit irate. I'm not sitting here saying that I didn't do anything wrong. I know I did.
I'm just curious for the group were there moments where you all saw something between these two?
Yeah. Absolutely. They got on like a house on fire.
Yeah, there was that personality spark between them. Definitely early on, they were really tight and really strong.
Yeah.
Best relationships start as friendships, and that's what they started as.
Yes, this is great feedback because I think we all saw this. So that is my hope for the two of you in this moment as you walk away from this couch. Forget the marriage, forget the sex, right? You were a team. You had each other's back. So the question is the friendship more important or is the ego more important? Polly?
Friendship.
Adam?
Friendship, yeah.
All right, so I think you two have something to say to each other.
Sorry.
How sorry?
I don't want to be in this position with you.
Yeah, I'm sorry for things that I've said and done that's hurt you. It was never my intention.
I hope that we can obviously just move forward from this and just be friends and be civil and amicable and hopefully still continue what I've learned in future relationships. And I'm just thankful for all of you for being there throughout it.
I love you both so much.
Casper and Emma make an appearance, guys, and they're perfectly fine, perfectly nice, perfectly lovely. And the experts say, yeah, let's just keep up this friendship. It's so great to see this friendship, giggling and laughing. That's really, really good. And I think the experts have really not proved themselves to be experts. Guys, it's like you're patting yourselves on the back because you persuaded 2 people to be friends. That's not what the purpose of the show is. The purpose of the show is for you to pick people who you think could be married for life and then they actually get married. Not to be friends. People can be friends with anyone. You're not experts, mate. I'm sorry, I just don't see what they've actually done here to warrant any sort of reward or to be deemed experts. Then finally we have, this part only, finally, we have Hannah. Hannah talking about her time with Stephen, even though Stephen's not there. and then talking about all the bullying she got from the girls. And what's amazing is how she's talking about how traumatic she found the bullying when she walked into the room and the girls all attacked her. And then Holly just goes and attacks her. Holly goes on, the offensive, berating her and saying things about her. And I just think, Holly, for God's sake, just stop it. You're sitting there with other people. Show a little bit of decorum. Let the girl actually talk about what she went through. Let her actually finish her sentence, but she just won't do it. It's so irritating after a while. I just think you can't have a civil conversation with people like that because they think in order to win every conversation they have with you or win every argument they have with you, that the key to doing it is to talk over you all the time and not let you say what you've got to say. And no wonder Hannah is so on edge all the time and so jumpy and quick to respond to them because they just won't let her speak. I feel like, they decided to really round on Hannah, like flies on a turd. And I just think it was really, really, really unpleasant. And even though Hannah did not play the game right, for lack of a better term, after a while it's like, guys, let it go. For God's sake, what do you want out of this woman?
Do wrong, and I think my banter got took the wrong way. With this group, there was some of other people's insecurities and other people's situations that were then being put onto me. And I feel like there was a real sort of pack mentality. Like, I walked into a room on girls' night and got called a slag, and look what the cat dragged in, and I just wouldn't treat another woman like that. That was hands down one of the hardest nights of my entire life.
Can't cope with someone playing victim when they're not owning their actions. It's giving weak.
In my opinion, the whole group wasn't against that. It was you and Holly hashing it out. We was leaving you two to it.
Everybody was chipping in.
When this comment was made, you two was on a different table. You weren't even sat with us.
I walked into a room, I got looked up and down like a piece of shit, and Holly looked me dead in the eye and said, "Look what the cat dragged in."
I know I did.
Holly was coming for me, then Shannon was piping up, then Lacey was coming. Everyone just came for me from every angle.
I've only ever reacted to your behaviour. I don't do things out like being a mean girl. I'm not a mean girl. I'm just very honest.
So you don't think how you behaved on both girls that was mean? You don't think that was mean at all?
No, that was me responding to your actions. Because she's disrespected me so much and pecked and pecked and pecked and pecked, she deserves everything she gets.
Holly, you literally bullied and victimised me in a room.
This is the moral of the story. So, I went into yesterday's dinner party with something in my head that Hannah had said. Now, say what you want of me. Shoot bullets at me. I'ma always dodge them. But talk about my children, I'm coming to law. I was being calm, and then Hannah said something like, "Fuck off." And I thought, you know what? You're fucking having it.
Well, Hannah and Holly draw a line under it, apparently, but I don't think there is a line drawn under it. I think Hannah would be very happy if she never saw Holly again. And quite frankly, the way Holly's treated Hannah during this entire series, I don't really blame her, and I think she'll be very happy to be away from those girls. They did all gang up on her. They did treat her quite badly. Yeah, I know she wasn't innocent, but I think she didn't deserve that level of cruelty.
No, I take accountability for my actions.
Hannah, is there anything that you would like to say?
No.
Okay.
I'm done at this point with trying to communicate with Holly. It's like banging your head against a brick wall.
Hopefully you both can reflect on your contribution to this argument.
Yeah.
And maybe think about maybe how you could have done things differently.
We're very different people. I would not disrespect a woman the way that Holly disrespected me, and I stand by that.
We'll hopefully get to a point, me and Hannah, where we can say hello to each other and not want to rip each other's head off.
Okay, let's move on.
We move on to Ryan and Shannon, and guys, I'm very confused as to why they broke up. There seems to be this general theme that behind closed doors, Ryan was a different man, that he was saying bad things to Shannon, commenting on her weight, commenting on the romance and saying it was going to be short-lived, just making constant jibes, and she saw those as red flags, and the arguments escalated and they just broke up. But the experts are actually shocked because they say, well, you never brought this to us, you never spoke to us about this, and they didn't. And then at the end they ask Ryan if he's got anything to add, anything to say, and he's got, again, nothing, just like previously, nothing to say, doesn't want to talk about it. You'd have thought something really awful had happened behind closed doors, like maybe she got a saucepan and hit him over the head, because it's so bad. I just don't understand why he won't speak about it, or maybe he's just easily hurt and doesn't like to talk about those kind of things. But genuinely I don't know, I'm just confused, not really sure. It's almost like there's like in some movies where you feel like there's an unspoken, terrible secret between two people that they vowed between each other to never speak about. It's almost like that, and maybe we'll never find out. Maybe we will one day, but by the time we do find out, we won't care.
Good things that I've seen and let red flags slide that I wouldn't normally, because I really wanted it to work. He would give me these compliments and make me feel amazing. But then 30 seconds down the line it'd be just a holiday romance for me. And I expressed to him that I didn't like it, it wasn't funny to me, it wasn't banter.
That was just a joke, there was nothing behind that.
As soon as we were behind closed doors was when the little digs would come out, things about my weight. I was insecure, I was timid, little comments, and it felt like Ryan was trying to keep me under his thumb so that I would come running back to him when he was giving me the compliments.
I think this is all quite new to us. Ryan, what are your thoughts about what Shannon is saying?
I did mention about her weight and that. She was put on antibiotics and I was saying like, you're not eating properly. And I was trying to look out for her. Since you've been diagnosed with cancer, I think your health's very important. So if they was my intentions that it came across, I apologise for that, but that was never my intentions. I just find it hard that it's my red flags, but I'm being told who I can and can't speak to.
I never said that you couldn't speak to any of the girls in here.
Certain people here know that I couldn't speak to Hannah.
Do you think I'm going to stay with somebody that's going to flirt with somebody else?
I wasn't flirting, there's been no flirting from me.
I seen it happen and he said, did you see Hannah stroking my foot?
But you was annoyed about what Hannah had done on the retreat.
Ryan's never flirted with me, I'm just going to put it out there. He hasn't.
You've made it out to the rest of the group that I'm this bad person.
What?
And I've sat back and I've not bit, and I'll continue not to bite.
I think what's really confusing here is that the two of you didn't bring some of these concerns to the couch, and the two of you have literally just walked away. Do you feel that there's a tendency in both of you to run away at maybe the first sign of trouble?
I think I do the opposite. I hang on for too long, and it was this time I realised I'm not hanging on. And it got to the point, it was the most ridiculous argument. He started arguing over shoelaces. He told me all his feelings were fake. He never meant any of it. And I thought, I've done it too many times and I'm not doing it again.
So, over a pathetic argument over a pair of shoes made you leave an experiment?
But it was a multitude of things that added up.
I mean, it sounds like quite an abrupt end because there was clearly a real attraction between the two of you. But some of these little niggling misunderstandings weren't brought here so that we could work through them. Whilst you've both got this opportunity today, is there anything you'd like to say to one another? Ryan,
absolutely nothing.
There's nothing you'd like to add?
I think that says a lot.
And Shannon, there's nothing that you'd like to add?
I am sorry for not being completely honest. I probably, on reflection, should have been more open with Ryan the day that I decided to leave.
Well, it's been a real pleasure meeting the two of you, and I really wish you all the best with relationships moving forward.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you
guys.
guys.
Thank you guys.
And then we get to Sasha and Ross, another dull moment. Yes, we know it all. They're going to live together. They have rows occasionally, but everything's great. They're deeply and madly in love. And we know now they've broken up. So clearly it didn't last. We're finally now, I hope finally, a bit of a It's not a super episode, this one, is it? Shame they're going out with this kind of episode. But anyway, we've got Kieran and Christina, and we're at that moment where they're finally getting down to it. Why did this relationship end? Christina said it's because Kieran didn't want me, but is that the real reason? Or is there another reason hiding behind the experts' heads? We will see. We will find out now.
Trying to understand what the real reason is.
Kieran didn't want me.
After all that, it would seem that basically Kieran didn't want Christina because he didn't really think he could take care of her. That's what seems to be the bottom line here. That one thing we were talking about a few weeks ago, saying if he doesn't reckon he can handle her with her PMDD and her emotional swings, why doesn't he just say it now and get out of the way? But instead he kind of stretched it out all this way until we finally get down to the bottom of it. And basically, he doesn't have the mental capacity, he thinks, to deal with her as she is. And he could have said that ages ago, guys. So
I think Christina relies on a partner, and I'm not saying I don't want to be a shoulder to lean on, but I've been there before, and that's a trigger. I haven't got the mental capacity to help you when you need that strength, because sometimes I haven't even got it for myself. It's difficult to console you as your ex-husband when you're feeling the way you're feeling. That's why I sit and get emotional.
What do we do right now? The first thing that I think we could do is between the two of you, you could set the boundaries of what does it mean to be a friend. His detaching isn't because he didn't care about you or he didn't care about the relationship, is that this is how he is built. This is what the relationships that he's been in has taught him, that he must rely on himself. What are you thinking about right now?
I'm just, I've never been able to explain that before. So for you to explain that to Christina means a lot.
When you have those boundaries in place, what's beautiful is that the boundaries loosen up. Without question, you two want to be each other's friends.
Yeah.
I do. Just because I can't reply to you every bloody minute of the day doesn't mean I'm not your mate.
You know, if you're not able to be in touch every single day, would it help if the two of you arranged to meet up so you've got something to look forward to?
So actually, before I came in here, I booked a festival and I actually bought 2 tickets because I thought I was going to have a husband to obviously take. So, do you want to come?
I've never been to a festival. I'd love to come.
I like that. Yeah. I love it.
what a kind of really lame finale to end on. I just thought, well, you know, there was nothing really exciting there. They should have put Luke and Amy last, because that was the highlight of the show. And as people are already saying on social media, you can't top that. You cannot top the way they sat there stony-faced and talked about terrorising Amy's you-know-what. I mean, that was just classic TV. But it ended with, you know, them, the experts, saying, you know, are you two going to try and be friends, Kieran and Christina? And Christina said, well, I did book 2 festival tickets before this process because I thought I'd be leaving here with a husband. So do you want to come, Kieran? And he said yes. And the whole room erupted into applause, as if to imply, hey, there's a second chance. Maybe they'll get together at the festival, which they won't. Because they're clearly at the end talking about how the fact they're going to remain lifelong friends, they will never be married, blah, 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 blah. So it was just a pointless, silly ending. I was hoping at the end they might let us catch up with all the people who didn't show up, like Eve, Rochelle, Alex, etc. But we didn't get any of that. It just ended, and very much a whimper. But there we go, guys. that's the season closed. What did you make of it? What did you make of tonight's episode? Did you enjoy it? Let's comment. I know I haven't replied to comments. I will do it. Let's talk. At the end of the day, what do you think the reasons were for what happened? Give your opinions, and let's dialogue, disagree, talk, and then have a nice, long rest. Good night, everyone, and thank you, of course, for watching.